Step back into the legendary Western, The Outlaw Josey Wales, 1976, and pay tribute to the iconic actors who brought this classic to life and have tragically passed away. From Clint Eastwood's unforgettable portrayal of Josey to the talented supporting cast, we remember their most memorable performances, behind-the-scenes stories, and the indelible mark they left on Hollywood. Discover how their work continues to inspire generations and relive the moments that made this film a timeless masterpiece. Packed with nostalgia, heartfelt tributes, and rare insights, this is a moving look at the stars, whose legacy will never be forgotten. Chief Dan George was born on July 24, 1899 in North Vancouver, British Columbia, and was 77 years old when he portrayed Lone Waddy in 1976's The Outlaw Josey Wales. Lone Waddy was a fiercely loyal Rye and resilient Cherokee elder whose humor and wisdom belied the trauma of his past, including survival through forced relocations and cultural erasure. George's own childhood was steeped in hardship. He grew up in a marginalized Indigenous community, witnessing systemic discrimination and enduring the lasting psychological scars of residential schools that attempted to strip away his cultural identity. Orphaned at an early age, he faced poverty and instability, often hiding his grief behind stoic composure, which later informed the depth and authenticity of his performances. Personal tragedies punctuated his life, decades of marginalization, the late discovery of his artistic talent at age 60, and the weight of representing his people in a film industry that often misrepresented them. George transformed these struggles into a rich artistic career, blending acting with poetry and activism, becoming a cultural icon who used his platform to educate and advocate for Indigenous communities. His journey after these tragedies was one of quiet resilience. He embraced film and television roles, selectively cultivated his poetic voice, and engaged in public speaking to illuminate Indigenous experiences, leaving an indelible mark on both Hollywood and literature. Chief Dan George passed away on September 23, 1981 at the age of 82 in his hometown of North Vancouver. While his net worth at death was modest, largely reflecting the limited financial rewards afforded to Indigenous actors, at the time his cultural legacy endures through his performances, poetry and activism, cementing him as a pioneer who bridged the gap between traditional Native culture and mainstream media, while revealing the raw realities of generational trauma with dignity, humor, and profound humanity. Sandra Locke, born May 28, 1944 in Shelbyville, Tennessee, was 32 when she portrayed Laura Lee in The Outlaw Josey Wales, a role in which she embodied a gentle, courageous, and compassionate woman navigating a brutal post-Civil War world. Laura Lee's quiet strength and nurturing presence provided a stark counterbalance to the violence surrounding Josey, allowing Locke to convey emotional depth and vulnerability that resonated with audiences. Locke's childhood was complex. Raised in a conservative religious Southern household, she faced emotional repression, societal pressures, and a yearning for independence that fueled her early ambitions in the arts. Her personal life was marked by profound turmoil. Her long-term relationship with Clint Eastwood began during the filming of Josey Wales, but devolved into years of emotional manipulation, professional sabotage, and acrimonious legal battles that publicly exposed the darker side of Hollywood romance. Locke struggled with career setbacks, including being typecast and denied leading roles, which contributed to her decision to explore directing and writing, reclaiming creative control in a male-dominated industry. She endured significant health challenges later in life, culminating in her death on November 3, 2018 at age 74 from cardiac arrest due to metastatic breast cancer. At the time of her death, her net worth was estimated at $20 million, reflecting settlements, royalties, and her own artistic work. Beyond financial wealth, Locke's legacy is a testament to resilience, intelligence, and the complexities of navigating fame, power, and personal trauma in Hollywood, with her career and life story continuing to fascinate and inspire discussions about agency, autonomy, and survival in the entertainment industry. Bill McKinney, born September 12, 1931 in Chattanooga, Tennessee, was 45 years old when he played Captain Terrell in The Outlaw Josey Wales, delivering a chilling portrayal of a cold-blooded, relentless Union officer whose cruelty embodied the harsh realities of war and moral corruption. Terrell's menace was amplified by McKinney's imposing physical presence and understated intensity, creating a character both terrifying and unforgettable. McKinney's own childhood was marked by instability and hardship, with frequent moves, financial struggles, and exposure to the harshness of post-Depression America, experiences that shaped his gritty, raw approach to acting. After serving in the Korean War and working as an arborist, he transitioned to Hollywood, where he initially faced setbacks and typecasting due to his imposing stature and intense demeanor. Personal tragedies included professional frustrations and the psychological impact of performing in violent and disturbing roles, particularly following Deliverance, which haunted him, and limited opportunities despite critical recognition. McKinney's journey after these challenges reflected a balance of perseverance and acceptance. He embraced character acting, building a prolific career in film and television that, though never catapulting him to stardom, earned him respect within the industry and among cult audiences. He battled health issues related to heavy smoking, ultimately succumbing to esophageal cancer on December 1st, 2011 at age 80. His estimated net worth was under $1 million, modest by Hollywood standards, yet his legacy endures through the unforgettable physicality, intensity, and authenticity he brought to every role, influencing generations of character actors and securing his place as a memorable figure in American cinema history. John Vernon was born on February 24, 1932 in Zaner, Saskatchewan, Canada, and assumed the role of Captain Fletcher in The Outlaw Josey Wales in 1976 at the age of 44, portraying a Union officer whose rigid adherence to authority and cold pragmatism made him a quietly menacing presence in the narrative. Fletcher's meticulous and calculating demeanor mirrored the bureaucratic cruelty of wartime, making him a subtle but formidable antagonist. And Vernon's commanding screen presence, marked by a resonant voice and precise gestures, ensured the character lingered in audience memory long after the film ended. Vernon's early life was shaped by hardship. Growing up in rural Canada, he experienced the challenges of a working-class upbringing, economic instability, and frequent social marginalization, which fostered both a drive to succeed and a wary, self-contained personality. His career was punctuated by notable achievements, yet also by professional turbulence, including typecasting in villainous roles and occasional clashes with directors and producers over creative control. Personal tragedy struck with a difficult divorce and the pressures of raising 3 children while maintaining a demanding career. Despite these obstacles, Vernon continued to build a reputation as a reliable character actor in films like Dirty Harry and Animal House, navigating Hollywood's treacherous landscape with a blend of discipline and pragmatism. In his later years, he balanced selective acting roles with private life, often mentoring younger actors and reflecting on the complexity of moral ambiguity he portrayed on screen. John Vernon passed away on February 1, 2005 in Los Angeles at the age of 72, due to complications following heart surgery, leaving behind a modest estate estimated around $1 million. His legacy is the unforgettable authority and menace he brought to his roles, the nuance he infused into villainy, and the enduring influence on generations of character actors who followed in his shadow. Paula Truman was born on April 25, 1897 in New York City and joined the Outlaw Josey Wales in 1976 at the age of 79 as Grandma Sarah, a spirited, indomitable matriarch whose warmth, humor, and resilience provided emotional grounding amid the film's bleak depiction of post-Civil War America. Grandma Sarah's mix of toughness and tenderness, combined with Truman's seasoned theatricality, made her a memorable source of comfort and moral stability, reflecting both the hardships of frontier life and the enduring strength of familial bonds. Truman's own upbringing was modest, with early exposure to the arts but limited financial security, compelling her to navigate a competitive and often unforgiving theatrical landscape while concealing the vulnerability and fear that accompanied early career setbacks. Over decades, she faced professional challenges, including ageism and the marginalization of women in film, but she consistently found ways to inhabit roles that showcased her vitality and stage-honed wit. personal life brought both satisfaction and sorrow. She endured the death of her husband, architect Harold Sterner, in 1976, as well as periods of professional obscurity. Yet she remained dedicated to her craft, performing into her later years, and mentoring younger actors. Truman's quiet persistence and unwavering commitment to authentic performance allowed her to overcome societal and industry barriers, culminating in her iconic presence in the Outlaw Josey Wales. She passed away on March 23, 1994, at age 96 from natural causes, leaving a modest estate that reflected a life of artistic dedication rather than material accumulation. Her legacy is both tangible in her body of work across stage and screen, and intangible in the inspiration she provided to women in the performing arts who sought to age gracefully while maintaining professional relevance and dignity. Sam Bottoms was born on October 17, 1955 in Santa Barbara, California, and portrayed Jamie in the Outlaw Josey Wales in 1976 at the age of 21. Embodying the idealistic, loyal, and tragically fated Confederate soldier whose innocence and moral compass underscored the human cost of war. Jamie's youthful bravery and vulnerability made him a poignant figure in the narrative, and Bottom's performance imbued the character with raw emotional authenticity, balancing naivete with emerging courage, making his eventual demise a resonant emotional anchor for the film. Bottoms grew up in a family of actors, yet his childhood was complicated by the pressures of maintaining individuality amid public attention and sibling comparisons, experiences compounded by frequent relocations and exposure to the darker sides of the entertainment industry. His career trajectory was marked by early promise, including his haunting role as Lance in Apocalypse Now, during which he contracted hookworm that caused lasting liver damage and contributed to ongoing health struggles alongside the stress of typecasting and inconsistent work. Personal tragedy, including his battle with a serious brain tumor later in life, profoundly shaped his perspective and professional choices, forcing him to confront mortality while continuing to pursue meaningful roles. Despite these challenges, he remained committed to his craft, seeking projects that allowed him to explore complex emotional landscapes and human fragility. Sam Bottoms passed away on December 16, 2008 at the age of 53 from glioblastoma multiforme, leaving behind a net worth estimated under $1 million. His legacy endures in the emotional depth he brought to his characters, the authenticity of his performances, and the quiet inspiration of a career that, though marked by illness and personal hardship, demonstrated the enduring power of nuanced, empathetic acting. Woodrow Parfrey was born on October 5, 1922 in New York City, and was 54 years old when he delivered a chilling portrayal of the sly and opportunistic carpetbagger in the Outlaw Josey Wales. 1976, on screen. Parfrey's character embodied the morally bankrupt opportunism of the post-Civil War era, manipulating chaos for personal gain and leaving audiences simultaneously repulsed and captivated by his cunning. Behind the camera, Parfrey's early life was defined by hardship and resilience. Orphaned as a teenager during the Great Depression, he endured extreme poverty and frequent social marginalization experiences that instilled in him a deep understanding of human complexity and allowed him to inhabit roles with nuanced darkness. His adolescence and early adulthood were marked by multiple dislocations and a pervasive need for survival, culminating in his service in World War II, where he was wounded and captured during the Battle of the Bulge, an experience that left physical scars and lifelong psychological impressions. Parfrey's professional journey reflected both persistence and volatility. Though never a leading man, he became a sought-after character actor, frequently portraying eccentric, sinister, or morally ambiguous figures, yet often navigating periods of career uncertainty and financial instability. Off-screen, he was known for his private, reserved nature, and his personal life, while largely hidden from the press, included intense friendships, professional rivalries, and periods of isolation. Parfrey passed away from a heart attack on July 29, 1984 in Los Angeles at age 61. His estimated net worth at the time of death was under $1 million, reflective of a career rooted in craft rather than fame. His legacy persists in the haunting authenticity he brought to his role, shaping a model of character acting that balances menace, subtle humor, and vulnerability, and his performances remain compelling examples of how personal adversity can inform artistic depth. Joyce Jameson was born on September 26, 1927 in Chicago, Illinois, and was 49 years old when she appeared as Rose in the Outlaw Josey Wales. 1976. Rose was a layered, warm, and slightly tragic figure whose flirtatious charm provided a humanizing contrast to the harsh, violent world of the Western frontier. But Jameson's real life was far more turbulent than her on-screen persona suggested. Raised in a working-class family during the Great Depression, she experienced financial insecurity, early social pressures, and the struggle to reconcile intelligence with the limited Hollywood roles available to women of her generation. These formative challenges shaped a resilient yet fragile personality that would struggle under the weight of fame and typecasting. Jameson's career often required her to play dizzy blondes or comic relief characters despite her keen intellect and dramatic capabilities, which generated frustration and periodic professional instability. She endured long-term emotional turbulence in her personal life, including a highly publicized relationship with actor Robert Vaughn, and battled depression, insomnia, and dependency on prescription medications, which worsened over time and impacted both her health and her career trajectory. Her creative energy and humor were often tempered by private despair, creating a tension between public perception and personal reality. Tragically, she died by suicide on January 16, 1987, at the age of 59 in Burbank, California. Her net worth at death was modest, likely under $1 million, reflecting both the structural inequities of Hollywood's supporting actors and the limited financial rewards for character actresses of her era. Jameson's enduring legacy is found in the poignancy and depth she brought to every role, the humanity and vulnerability she infused into her characters, and the subtle reminder that brilliance in performance can coexist with hidden personal suffering, leaving a haunting resonance in the history of American cinema. Sheb Wooley was born on April 10, 1921 in Erick, Oklahoma, and was 55 years old when he portrayed Travis Cobb in the Outlaw Josey Wales, 1976. On screen, Wooley's Travis was the embodiment of frontier wit, rugged charm, and understated humor, and Wooley infused the role with his own distinctive blend of musicality, comedic timing, and authenticity, creating a character who resonated with audiences as a symbol of resilience and human warmth in a violent, unforgiving landscape. Wooley's early life in rural Oklahoma was marked by hardship, including economic deprivation, the challenges of farm life, and a fierce sense of independence instilled from a young age, which would later inform his multifaceted career in music and film. He first gained fame in the entertainment world with his novelty hit Purple People Eater, while simultaneously cultivating a film career that included roles in Rawhide and other westerns, navigating the dual pressures of music and acting with determination. Personal and professional challenges shaped his path, including periods of career uncertainty, industry typecasting, and the eventual diagnosis of leukemia in 1996, which he faced with characteristic perseverance, continuing to perform and record music under his comedic alter ego Ben Colder until shortly before his death. Wooley passed away on September 16, 2003 at the age of 82 in Nashville, Tennessee. His net worth at the time of death was estimated around $5 million, accumulated through decades of work in music royalties, film, and television. Beyond the monetary value, Wooley's cultural legacy is substantial. His ability to bridge music and cinema, to blend humor with authentic representation of American ruggedness, and to persevere creatively in the face of illness, ensures that his influence endures, leaving behind a body of work that continues to entertain, inspire, and define a uniquely American artistic voice. Royal Dano was born on November 16, 1922 in New York City, and he was 54 years old when he portrayed Ten Spot in the Outlaw Josey Wales. 1976, a role that showcased his gift for creating offbeat, psychologically complex characters. On screen, Ten Spot, a gaunt, obsessive Confederate soldier who counts numbers compulsively, offered a glimpse into the lingering traumas of war, presenting a figure both unsettling and oddly sympathetic. Dano's own childhood was shaped by economic hardship during the Great Depression, and a father who struggled with mental instability, leaving Royal to navigate a landscape of scarcity, frequent moves, and social marginalization that forced him to cultivate resilience and a rich inner life. Early encounters with ridicule and isolation shaped his unique sensitivity, which would later inform his performances as haunted, eccentric figures in westerns, horror films, and dramas. Despite a prolific career spanning decades, he faced persistent professional obstacles. Typecasting limited his opportunities, and some roles were canceled abruptly, leaving him with a mix of acclaim and frustration. Personal tragedy also left its mark. His son, Royal Dano Jr., died the same year, as he did, compounding the emotional weight of his final years. Dano remained committed to his craft, bringing authenticity and nuance to even minor roles, and often drew on his own life's melancholy to deepen his portrayals. He died on May 15, 1994, at age 71 from pulmonary fibrosis, leaving behind a modest estate estimated under $1 million. Though he never achieved leading man fame, his contributions to cinema endure his performances, remembered for their haunting presence, dark humor, and the emotional depth he brought to characters who might otherwise have been dismissed as eccentric or peripheral. Dano's legacy is one of quiet, intense artistry and a life spent giving voice to outsiders' misfits, and the psychologically scarred, ensuring his work resonates with audiences long after his death. Will Sampson was born on September 27, 1933 in Okmulgee, Oklahoma, and was 4'3" when he took on the role of 10 Bears in the Outlaw Josey, Wales. 1976, a towering and dignified Comanche chief whose wisdom, calm authority, and moral clarity anchored the film's exploration of honor and cultural identity. Standing at 6'7", Sampson carried his heritage and physical presence with an unspoken power that lent credibility to a character embodying both strength and compassion. He was born into the Muskogee Nation, raised in poverty, and endured systemic discrimination, experiences that shaped his sense of responsibility, cultural pride, and an acute awareness of injustice. Early life struggles, including the loss of close family members and the marginalization of Native Americans, instilled a quiet resilience and fueled his commitment to advocacy later in life. Sampson's rise to fame was sudden and unconventional, discovered for his role in One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Without formal training, he faced both adulation and the pressures of Hollywood, including being typecast and encountering health challenges. Tragically, scleroderma, a degenerative autoimmune disease, dramatically altered his life and career, culminating in complications from a heart and lung transplant that claimed his life on June 3, 1987, at the age of 53. Despite these hardships, he channeled his energy into the American Indian Registry for the performing arts, mentoring young Native performers and striving to expand opportunities for Indigenous actors. His estate was modest, reflecting a focus on cultural legacy over material accumulation. Yet his influence remains profound. Sampson's performances, particularly as 10 Bears, are celebrated for their gravitas, authenticity, and dignity, leaving a lasting imprint on representations of Native Americans in cinema, and a legacy of resilience, cultural advocacy, and artistic integrity that transcends his tragically brief life. William O'Connell was born on May 12, 1929 in Los Angeles, California, and was 47 when he portrayed the jittery comic ferryman Sim Carstairs in The Outlaw Josey, Wales. 1976, a role that allowed him to inject nervous energy and human vulnerability into the film's tense Western milieu. Sim Carstairs' anxious mannerisms and hesitant speech offered levity and texture, and O'Connell's performance demonstrated his deft ability to balance humor with pathos, making a secondary character memorable and emotionally resonant. O'Connell's childhood in Depression-era Los Angeles was marked by economic uncertainty, the loss of extended family, and the challenges of being part of a working-class Irish-American community, navigating discrimination and instability. These early hardships instilled perseverance, self-reliance, and an empathetic awareness of human frailty, qualities that informed his acting choices. Professionally, O'Connell built a long career as a character actor, often collaborating with Clint Eastwood, but he faced repeated setbacks. Roles were sometimes lost to studio politics, and typecasting limited the diversity of his opportunities. Despite these pressures, he avoided scandal, cultivating a reputation for professionalism, reliability, and discretion. He remained active in the industry for decades, taking smaller parts that showcased his range while quietly mentoring younger actors. O'Connell died on January 15, 2024 at age 94 in Sherman Oaks, California, leaving an estate estimated in the low millions, including residuals, property, and royalties. His legacy is subtle, yet enduring, a testament to the craft of character, acting the value of consistency and professionalism in Hollywood, and the overlooked artistry of performers who, without headline fame, enrich films with texture, humor, and humanity, ensuring that even minor roles leave lasting impressions on audiences. John Quaid was born on April 1, 1938 in Kansas City, Kansas, and was 38 years old when he portrayed the gruff and menacing Comanchero leader in the Outlaw Josey Wales in 1976. On screen, Quaid's towering frame, chiseled features, and gravelly voice made him the quintessential Western antagonist, commanding attention even in scenes with the most dynamic action. Yet behind the formidable presence was a man whose life journey was shaped by stark contrasts. His childhood in a working-class Midwestern family exposed him to economic hardship, the rigid expectations of a father who valued stoicism, and the subtle social pressures that made him learn early to mask vulnerability behind a tough exterior. Initially trained as an aerospace engineer, Quaid contributed to projects that eventually reached the moon, a hidden chapter of technical brilliance contrasting with his cinematic persona of menace. His life was punctuated by profound personal and professional challenges. He faced periods of self-doubt when transitioning from engineering to acting, endured minor injuries and near misses on physically demanding sets, and navigated the capricious nature of Hollywood casting while raising a family in private. Despite portraying villains, he was known among colleagues as a thoughtful and caring man, often mentoring younger actors and quietly supporting charitable causes. Quaid's post-tragedy journey was a testament to resilience. He leaned into roles that exploited his intimidating image while maintaining integrity and professionalism, steadily building a career in film and television, with appearances in High Plains, Drifter, Papillon, and Every Which Way, but loose, cultivating a reputation for reliability and intensity. He passed away peacefully in his sleep on August 9, 2009, at the age of 71 from a heart attack, leaving a net worth of approximately $1 million. Quaid's legacy endures not only through his iconic performances that defined 1970s and 1980s Westerns, but also as an example of a man who transformed personal discipline, intellectual acumen, and resilience into a career marked by consistency, memorable intensity, and a quiet off-screen humanity that few ever glimpsed. Buck Kartalian, born Vahe Kartalian on August 13, 1922 in Detroit, Michigan, was 54 years old when he portrayed the shopkeeper in the Outlaw Josey Wales in 1976, a small yet memorable figure embodying the stoicism, resilience, and understated dignity of frontier life. His childhood was shaped by the challenges of being the son of Armenian immigrants navigating a society that often marginalized ethnic minorities while enduring the economic instability of Depression-era Detroit. Early experiences included witnessing neighbors struggle being teased in school for his ethnic background and shouldering responsibilities that cultivated resilience and work ethic at a young age. Kartalian's life was marked by personal reinvention after serving honorably in the U.S. Navy. During World War II, he became a professional wrestler known as the Hell's Kitchen Roughneck, displaying a willingness to embrace physically demanding and highly visible roles while channeling both charisma and toughness. Transitioning to acting without formal training, he amassed a prolific career spanning over 70 film and television appearances, often cast as a character actor capable of conveying both menace and warmth, including roles in Planet of the Apes and Cool Hand Luke. Alongside professional achievements, Kartalian navigated personal loss and heartache, including the death of his wife Margaret in 2015, and the emotional burden of witnessing colleagues and contemporaries pass away while he continued working. He remained quietly philanthropic, supporting arts organizations and mentoring emerging talent. Kartalian passed away on May 24, 2016 at the age of 93 from natural causes, leaving an estate valued at approximately $2 million, reflecting decades of work, shrewd financial management, and intellectual adaptability. His legacy is one of versatility, endurance, and reinvention, a man who bridged worlds of sport, military service, and Hollywood, demonstrating that a life of reinvention, discipline, and character work can leave an indelible cultural footprint beyond leading roles or fame. Len Lesser was born on December 3, 1922 in the Bronx, New York, and was 54 years old when he portrayed Abe in the Outlaw Josey Wales in 1976, a minor but significant character who added warmth, humor, and relatability to a narrative dominated by the harsh realities of vengeance and survival. Lesser's childhood was marked by the trials of growing up in a working-class Jewish family during the Great Depression, with financial insecurity, societal prejudice, and parental expectations, shaping a resilient, observant, and emotionally astute young man. He served with distinction in the U.S. Army during World War II in the China-Burma-India theater, experiences that left him with a lifelong appreciation for discipline, camaraderie, and the fragility of life. Professionally, Lesser endured periods of typecasting, long gaps between meaningful work, and the pressures of an industry that often favored youth and novelty. Yet he steadily cultivated a reputation as a reliable character actor, capable of infusing even minor roles with personality and depth. Lesser's personal life included navigating the death of close family members, maintaining long-term friendships in Hollywood's transient environment, and coping with the stress of a demanding career while preserving privacy and dignity. He embraced each role with professionalism and subtlety, leaving a legacy through iconic performances such as Uncle Leo on Seinfeld, while contributing quietly to numerous other projects in film and television. Lesser passed away on February 16, 2011 at the age of 88 from cancer-related pneumonia, leaving an estate valued at approximately $1.5 million. His cultural imprint lies in his ability to elevate supporting characters to memorable presences. His unwavering commitment to craft over glamour, and the enduring affection of audiences who recognized both his talent and his humanity, making him a quintessential example of a devoted, resilient actor whose contributions enriched the fabric of American television and film for decades. Though time has passed, the laughter they gave us still echoes. The cast of The Outlaw. Josey Wales brought joy to millions, and even though some of them are no longer with us, their performances live on. As we remember those we've lost, we also celebrate the legacy they left behind, one that continues to entertain and connect generations. Thank you for joining us in honoring these unforgettable stars. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more tributes to the legends of television history.